Hey, folks, just gonna kill a couple of minutes here waiting for some people to join in. Get the microphone ready here. All right. Just checking out the futures market. The dollar continues to look weak. We should get a bounce overnight. If we don't, this is a really weak currency. IWM moving up in the after hours. Let's go to the futures though. Silver setting up nicely in the after hours session. Nice downward slope off of the highs of the day. This is a 1 hour chart. So we rallied, tapped that third standard deviation Bollinger Band. We pulled back, but a nice orderly pullback. And what we're doing is now we are retesting the breakout point. This line in red here. Let's see if we can fatten that up a bit. So we're going to consolidate along this line. As long as we hold it, we're probably going to move up higher tomorrow. Hey, Patrick. Good question. I used to be very heavy into mutual funds many years ago. Not so much nowadays. So I can't say that I do. I'm an index type guy. Vanguard. If I had to go to a family of funds, it's usually Vanguard. But no, I don't. I don't. It's a good question. I haven't been asked that in a long time, if ever. To be honest with you. Huh. Patrick, do you have any symbols that you want me to go over while we're waiting for some people to pop in here? I get the feeling that this is not going to be an overly. If you need help with it, Patrick, you know what I would do? Pick yourself up a Saturday copy of Investors Business Daily, and I'm a big believer in their scoring system. And if you would say, you know what, next week, can you come up with a scoring system? I would probably just go out and buy IBD and take a look at that and use them as a benchmark. So, what are you looking to go into? Stocks or other areas? Bonds? What's your game plan? See how gold is doing. Gold looking good. Down a little bit in the after hours session, but looking good. Poised for breakout. Patrick, you have any symbols that you want me to go over at all? Nice. Okay. What else we got going on here? Let's check out oil. Okay, we'll take a look at them. I was going to go over NUGT anyway, and UGAZ we can take a look at. Oil has got me, my interest peaked. Either we're going to break hard to the downside or the upside, but one of the two. But it's going to happen fairly soon, and it is going to be ruthless. Home heating oil. I think we're breaking out here. This is a weekly chart. Look at this beautiful downward slope. Bearish reversal bar last week, bullish reversal bar this week. There's a fight brewing. Light sweet crude. Breaking out on the week. All right, let's bring up NUGT. Yeah. The question is right now, what do? You go into, you start opening up new positions in stocks, or, it's so risky right now. Yeah, and they probably still have more juice in this market before it tanks, but my God, I would be so nervous. I'd be so nervous to do that. Nice. 60% your IRA. Good for you. All right. Let's take a look at NUGT. I think yeah, I know. I hear you. I hear you. All right. So NUGT, unlike gold, NUGT is breaking out. Yeah, Patrick, you won't regret it. I mean, they do a lot of that homework for you. ABD, is that a symbol? Or you're looking about IBD. I will get IBD. ABD, look. Oh, just clarifying that if you could, that last comment. And while I wait for that, let's go over NUGT. So here's our breakout on the week. And this is why I didn't want to stay too close to the money on the covered call positions. So we're up on the week, very strong. A close above 30 would set us up for a major, major move next week. Daily chart. Up day, obviously. Excuse me. Volume is pretty light today. Indicators are doing what we want them to do. So the daily chart looks okay. I don't love the topping action. 4-hour chart. Yeah, the back half of the day today was not great. That 30 mark, I think it's a psychological resistance level. But once we close above it, retest, I think that 3250 is going to be seen in a heartbeat. Oh, and look, gotcha. Good. Good. You gotta love them covered calls. Cash flow, cash flow. People don't use them enough. There's nothing like generating that cash flow. All right, so this is a 4-hour chart. 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 4 Stokes are doing nicely. RSI okay. But again, I don't like the back half of the day. But it's here. We close above 30.25. That brings us back to that breakout point where we failed a few weeks ago to hold. And I remember talking about this consolidation here. And I remember saying, oh, we're going to break out. I was all excited that we we're going to break out higher. And we broke down. So I would love to get more excited about NUGT, but until we close above 30.25, I can't. But when we do, I think we're going to be up at 32.50 in a blink of an eye. What was the other one you want? Oh, UGAZ. UGAZ. See how these Stokes are still declining, Pat? And you're getting the fade on the weekly candlestick. Huge volume. Let's go to a daily chart. Yeah, be careful here, Pat. Yeah, let's just move it down here. We have resistance at $11 per share. They're selling into that level. And here is your upper band of resistance as well. So this is a congestion area. I would not be a buyer here. In fact, I would look, if I were long from down here, I'd be looking to sell until we got a breakout above this upper band of resistance. 1134 would be a great price point to see the shares close above. Yeah, so if you don't currently have any right now, Pat, I would avoid it right now because way too much risk as we're seeing the shares rally up into resistance and then sell back off of it. And again, if we pop up higher and we recapture this 1134 mark, that's a bullish sign. That means that we'd be closing the week out at the highs of the week, and that sets us up for a continuation move higher. Right now, to me, this is a dead cat bounce off of an oversold condition and ripe for a continuation move lower. Good volume today to the upside. Let's drill down to a 2-hour chart. Yeah, be very, very careful here. We broke down on a 2-hour basis and closed there. So I think that we're probably going to drop tomorrow morning. But I wouldn't short this thing either. This is good. RSI, Ultimate Oscillator, holding 50. I'm starting to fade here a little bit. Tired. So I would be very cautious. I wouldn't buy these shares right now. I would avoid unless we get a breakout. You know what the problem is, Patrick? There's just so much natural gas out there, and you know we produce so much of it. The Russians produce so much of it. There's so much out there. And that's the problem. And now we're exporting it, for Christ's sakes, with the LNG tankers. All right, with that, let's talk about Yang. So we spoke about this earlier, that we were putting in a new weekly high. We're breaking out. Volume is very light. Hey, Norris! I have, Norris. I have. This will be short, so I'm going to sign off in a couple of minutes if you want to check it out on a replay. If you have any specific questions you want to ask me about it right now, I'll go over it for you. But otherwise, I did a general overview of the weekly chart, which we broke out on a weekly basis, and the daily chart, which is looking good. We closed off the highs of the day. A little bit concerning, but we have broken out on a weekly basis, so it's performing better than gold. So I would be looking for higher highs in the coming week, and 30 is the target to watch. If we close out the week above 30, I think that we're probably going to move a lot higher very, very quickly. We'll be at 32.50 in a blink of an eye. So those are my thoughts. But you bet. I'm going to go over Brazil as well on a daily chart. Okay, so Yang, weekly chart, looking good. We're breaking out, but the daily chart, I'll tell you. You got it. Okay, Pat. Look at this setup here on a daily basis for Yang. We pulled back, obviously. Retest 1, retest 2, doji star formation. I think we're going to probably move higher here. Absent some Kudlow hijinks tomorrow morning on CNBC. From what I understand, he's supposed to be on CNBC or one of the other TV shows. So Yang is looking good. I'm going to take a look at Brazil, BRZU. Weekly view, nice pop higher. We have resistance at the 50-period moving average, which is flattened out. Man, this thing's volatile. But look at these Stokes. Higher lows, hooking up. Exactly what you want to see. RSI hooking up, beautiful. Breaking out on a daily basis. A little bit of topping action, resistance at 30. So I don't see any real need to go rushing in here. A nice pullback and a higher low. That would set the stage for a nice move higher. And we'll look for an entry point at that point in time. But I think we're probably going to get a pullback here. As noted by this topping this topping tail and all of this overhead supply. These buyers just want their money back. They're not looking to make a profit. So they're going to sell. And that'll keep a lid under these shares for a while. Up volume was weak today. So no rush here. All right, IBM. No, I'm not in Yang. I'm not in Yang yet. I just read your comment about the Latin funds being up. Mexico's not doing well at all. Of recent, on the year, up 7%. This is not a bad setup here. Yearly chart. Monthly chart. I think that the way to go in the future is with individual company names or at least global international funds with no U.S. or Chinese mainland, even Hong Kong exposure. IBM. I should have IBM up here. Shocker. I cleaned it out. Oof. Let's do a very high level view. There's two ways of looking at this. For all intents and purposes, we've been in a trading range, a very wide trading range, since 2010. So from an investment perspective, I'm sure it's paying a dividend. It looks okay. I mean, as long as it's paying a dividend. What concerns me here on a shorter term as a trade is that we are weakening up here and threatening the lower band of support on a monthly basis. Let's drill down. Weekly view. Yeah. Yeah, this is weak. So what we have here, MACD head and shoulders setup. These Stokes are just butt ugly. Lower highs. Ultimate oscillator looks good, but it's not my favorite indicator. I'm worried here of a threat and a break below this lower band of support. We're at a very critical time on IBM as a trade. Daily view. Yeah, I'd be careful here. We're going to have a negative crossover of the 50-day going down below the 200-day. You're seeing some selling pressure here. Above average volume, back-to-back days. I think there's a good chance that we break to the downside on IBM. I know that's your alma mater. I don't want to talk poorly of it. And we had broken out back here on RSI and failed to hold it. Here was a prior triangle formation, which broke. I think you're probably going to see the same exact thing on a weekly basis. Oh, you don't have any? Good. So now I can speak freely. Yeah, just I would avoid right now, definitely. Norris, did you have anything else you want me to take a look at? Patrick, too? Anybody? There's a bunch of people on. Okay. All right, with that, I am going to say good night to everybody. Everybody have a great night, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for joining in as usual, and I really appreciate it. And sleep well. Be well.